Hello. I know it's been a couple weeks since I recorded. I've been really busy. Things have just been crazy around here with kids in the summer and just all kinds of stuff going on. But I have two videos that I'm going to do today and hopefully post today. It does take a really long time for them to get on YouTube, but there's a couple of things that I'm really concerned about that I haven't touched on. This video was initially supposed to be about how to open up to friends and family and tell them about OCD, which I will do a video on that probably as soon as I'm done doing this video. But I was on my Facebook news feed and I was noticing, I've noticed it before, and I usually, because I am the way I am, I just ignore it and continue going on. But there's a lot of memes or whatever you want to call them, pictures, posts that people make that describe OCD as being like this cleaning disorder or hand washing disorder. Well, we already know that that's not true. We've already gone over the fact that there are many different types of OCD. I really just want to get the message out there that, like, OCD is not fun. It's not something that is enjoyable or that anyone should ever wish to have because, oh, well, if I was OCD, my house would be clean. For some people who do have OCD, yes, that's true. Their house is spotless, immaculate because the OCD makes them that way. But there are plenty of people out there who have OCD and they don't suffer from that particular variety. And it's offensive and it's bothersome and it makes people really upset and really angry when you say things in a negative and derogatory way towards a mental illness that is debilitating and really just difficult to live with. And my son is coming in. Say hello, Andrew.
Hi.
So, the thing is, you can't sit and make fun of people for things that are wrong with them. If you get on and you make fun of somebody who is autistic, or you make fun of somebody who has cancer, or you make fun of somebody who has some other illness going on, you're going to be crucified. You're going to be put out and hung out to dry. So why is it okay to make fun of OCD? Why is it okay to take this one particular thing and make fun of it and turn it into something that it's not? And there he goes again. Hi, yes, you can have a hug. This is my son, Andrew, and he's supposed to be outside playing, but I think he came in for a bathroom break. Go on, Mommy's recording.
Okay.
So,
I'll see you when it gets.
go play.
I'll see you when it gets colder outside.
Okay.
Colder.
He's a goofball. Really, he is. In any case, it's not fair and it's not right and it's not okay to make fun of these things. It's just not. And when I see these pictures pop up on my Facebook newsfeed, usually I just ignore them because I realize that a lot of people are ignorant. And what do they say? Ignorance is bliss. And they don't know what OCD is because they haven't taken the time to actually do the research to look into it. They don't suffer from it. Something that really annoys me, really irritates me, gets under my skin is when I hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm so OCD about that." Really, you're so OCD about that? No, you're not. You're not so OCD about that. You don't have thoughts in your head telling you bad things are going to happen if you don't do this. You don't have thoughts in your head telling you that if you don't flip the light switch on and off 16 times in a row, that something bad is going to happen. You don't have something in your head telling you if you don't kiss your husband 3 times, tell him I love you twice, and tell him to be safe as he's backing out of the driveway every single day, he's going to get into a car wreck. You don't have thoughts in your head telling you to do that. Then no, you're not so OCD about it. You might be particular about it. You might be a perfectionist. You might have a type A personality where things have to be just so. My grandmother's like that. She has type A personality. Everything has a place and everything in its place. I'm kind of like that in the sense of I like neatness, I like organization, but I also suffer from symmetry and organizational OCD along with other types and variations. And so when somebody says, oh, I'm so OCD about that, this has to be this way or that has to be that way, all right, well, what exactly is going to happen if it's not? Well, nothing's going to happen, but it's just how I am. That's not OCD. OCD is not defined as I have to have things a certain way. OCD is defined as obsessive, intrusive thoughts put into your head by a chemical imbalance in the brain, causing you to fear things that are going to happen if you don't do things in the way that the OCD wants you to do them to. Thus, the I'm so OCD about this, I have to do this, it has to be this way, is a compulsion and not necessarily a I just have to do this. And so, and here comes my daughter. So you get to meet both of my children today. Say hello.
Hi.
And they can only see half your face. This is my daughter. She's just as much of a bugabutt as my son is. And she's going to go do whatever it is. Why are you in here?
To get some ice water.
Then get ice water and go play. And so, there you have it. You've met both my children. They're happy, healthy, and well. And hopefully neither one of them will suffer from this horrible disease.
When are you going to post this thing on, are you doing another YouTube?
I am recording right now, Samantha.
When are you going to post it? Because I want to do it. Because I'm subscribed up to yours. Honestly, it's fun.
Well, if I could get through the video, then perhaps I would be able to post it. Excuse her, she's filling her water bottle with ice, so you're going to hear some noise in the background. I've come to the conclusion that unless I do my videos at like 2 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be stuff in the background. So, hey, you met my kids. They're wonderful. They're amazing. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So, you have these people out there who think it's just some big joke. It's just some big random joke, and it's okay to just, be funny about it. It's not funny. It's not a game. It's a serious mental illness. It's an anxiety disorder. It does not allow you to do the things that you would normally like to do. There are people out there who can't even leave their home because of this mental illness. How is that fair, right, to them to sit and go, oh, well, I have OCD. I should have a meeting, my favorite one, on Facebook. Have a meeting with all the people you know who suffer from OCD or have OCD. Eventually, somebody's going to start cleaning. I'd be the one who would start cleaning and organizing because that's just who I am. But then you're going to have other people there who are curled up in a ball and just don't even want to be there if they even show up because they're too afraid to leave their house because something bad might happen. That's OCD. It's unfair. It's shameful. It's just as bad as picking on someone who has cancer or autism or any other kind of chronic illness. Would you pick on someone with multiple sclerosis? Would you pick on someone with ALS? All last year, people are doing this ALS ice bucket challenge. We're taking ice water and dumping it over our heads to help raise awareness for ALS. Let's raise awareness for OCD. I want to see somebody dump a bucket of ice water over their head for this. Are they going to do it? No, they're not. There's not much research going on because of this. There's not much light shed on it. I mean, sure, you have a few psychiatrists and psychologists who know more about it than others, and you have some who are doing research on it, what causes it. We know that it's a chemical imbalance in the brain that can be fixed with medication. Do we know what the medication does? No. We have no idea. I'm on 4 different medications. They make me feel better. I'm able to function. I'm able to leave my house. I'm able to do the things that I need to do. But do we know how those medications are affecting my brain? Do we know what the residual effects of being on those medications for long periods of time are? No, we don't. We have no idea. The only thing we know is that they're not safe to take during pregnancy. Do we know why? No, we have no idea. But we do know that it helps. It helps make you feel better. So, well, here, take this pill. It'll make you feel better. But we need somebody to go in there and look at it and say, this is what causes it. Yes, we know it's a chemical imbalance, but how do we measure these chemicals? You can't measure serotonin. You can't measure dopamine. You can't measure norepinephrine. You can't measure glutamate. You can't measure any of these chemicals. Not by blood, not by saliva, not by any other bodily fluid. You can't do a spinal tap or a lumbar puncture, which is exactly the same thing, but anyway, you can't do that and take the CSF fluid or cerebral spinal fluid and measure these chemicals, even though they're coming straight from your brain. There's no way to tell. All we can go by is symptoms. I have this symptom, I have that symptom, I have the other symptom. Okay, well, you have OCD. Here, take this pill, you'll feel better. Some people do, some people don't. It takes a long time to figure out medications. I got lucky. My first shot, I got the medications that I needed. There are people out there who go unmedicated because they don't trust medication are going to make them feel better, or they're afraid of the side effects, or they're afraid that it's going to make them feel worse instead of better. But the reality of it is that when you poke fun at it, would you poke fun at somebody who's getting chemotherapy or IL-2 therapy for cancer? Would you poke fun at somebody who has to take Ritalin or has to take Concerta or has to take another medication to control ADHD or autism disorders? Would you poke fun at somebody who is taking a medication to help stop a chronic illness? No, you wouldn't, because you'd be crucified. Mental illness is chronic. Treatable, yes. Curable, no. There's no cure. Some might say, oh, it's all in your head. Yeah, it's all in my head. But here's the bottom line on that. It's in my head because my brain is no different than my heart or my liver or my kidneys or my lungs or my pancreas. Would you make fun of somebody who has to give themselves insulin shots every day for diabetes? Because that's what it boils down to. It's a chemical imbalance. When you don't have enough insulin, you go on it. They give you an insulin prescription, you give yourself an injection every day, then your pancreas produces as it normally should. It's the same principle. There's no difference. The only difference is that instead of it being your pancreas, it's your brain. Your brain is the one that has the chemical imbalance. And so the brain is an organ in the body just as any other organ. Just like the kidneys and the liver and the pancreas and the lungs and the esophagus and every other organ. The skin. Do you make fun of people who have skin disorders, skin conditions? No, you don't. Because it's not fair. Because you can see their illness. If you can see somebody's illness, well, you're not going to make fun of them because that's not fair. That's not right. You're not going to pick on them. You might turn your head and not look because you don't want to look directly at it. But you feel bad for them. You pity them. And you're grateful that you don't suffer from it. Well, be grateful that you don't have OCD. This is a very angry video because I'm a very angry person when it comes to this sort of thing. I want the mental illness stigma removed, released. I want people to understand and realize that this is a real thing. This is something that happens to people that we cannot control any more than a person with diabetes or chronic heart failure or congestive heart failure or renal failure can control. We did not do this to ourselves. We were born this way. Some mental illnesses are environmentally related. Would you make fun of somebody who went and fought for you over in Iraq or Afghanistan and comes back with post-traumatic stress disorder? No, he's a hero or she's a hero because she went over there and she fought, or he went over there and he fought and saved your damn freedom. Are you going to make fun of them? No. But what if their PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder goes untreated because they're too afraid to ask for help? And then it manifests and it gets into their brain. And that chemical imbalance that they now suffer from becomes OCD or depression or bipolar or worse. What are you going to say to them? Are you going to pick on them? Are you going to give them a hard time? This is something I'm very passionate about. This is something that I feel needs more attention. And I'm going to give it the attention that it needs. And I'm going to keep going until I find more people who will also give it the attention that it needs. Because it's unfair, it's unjust, and it's unright to make a person who has a mental illness feel like less of a human being because of their mental illness. I also feel that it needs to stop being a joke. OCD is not a joke. Mental illness is not a joke. It's not funny. It's not fun. Would you sit up all night on the phone with someone who was suicidal? Your best friend calls you and tells you they're getting ready to off themselves. Would you sit up on the phone with them and talk them out of it? Of course you would. You love them to death. They're your best friend. So what if they call you and tell you they have to count everything they see? Then what? Are you going to stop being friends with them? Because I had that happen to me.